Hello everyone, for today's video I have a full Angel themed moveset. Now this was suggested by George and Caleb Awesome, so thank you very much for the moveset suggestion. If you guys have any more moveset themed suggestions for yourself, please feel free to leave them in the comments and the best ones will be used for future videos. And of course, if you do enjoy these videos and you think they deserve it, please leave a like. So there's a few ways I could have gone about this moveset. I could have done something that resembled Angel Goku or Halo Goku or the Angel race in Dragon Ball, which is, you know, Whiz, Vados and I think the Grand Prix, but I'm not too sure. But as of me recording this, Whiz is the only Angel character in the game. DLC Pack 2 hasn't been released yet. So with that being said, I decided to do what I consider an Angel build, and well, this is it. So we've got Instant Rise because it's just a very nice, yet generic, evasive. It does the job, you know, it's not too fancy, I'm happy with it. Super Saiyan, it's my go-to transformation. Symphonic Destruction because it's Whiz's ultimate attack. Soul Punisher because I think it fits with the theme of the moveset. It's like King Yima, he would punish you if you were bad like Cell and Deborah. And because I've got Soul Punisher, I decided to use Instant Transmission because I've never really hit Soul Punisher online. And I'm thinking, well, if I get them in the triangle stamina break, then use Instant Transmission so I'm right next to them, and use Soul Punisher, they just won't have enough time to get out of it because they'll be in the recovery animation. Spirit Bomb because it's the ultimate good guy attack in Dragon Ball, and Angels are supposed to represent all things good, so I just think that fits. I was going to put Super Spirit Bomb over Symphonic Destruction, but given how slow it is, I decided against it. Eagle Kick just because when you use it, it looks like you've got angel wings. And Punisher Drive because I found a really nice combination where if you use Eagle Kick and then immediately use Punisher Drive, it will do a nice combo, so, you know, a bit of synergy there. So as we go into the first fight, yes, I am using the Angel Wings because, well, it just fits. For this fight, I am playing with limitations off, so the timer is on 15 minutes. He's level 82, I'm level 85. The only reason I don't play with limitations off more often is because I normally have to wait like 15-20 minutes for someone to join, and it's just, you know, it's just insane. So there he went for the Super God Shock Flash, and I went for the Soul Punisher, which I think it did activate it, but I'm not too sure. But it's a nice counter. I'm running the very well. I will rewind time Super Soul. It belongs to Wiz, and what that does is when you get a perfect block, a Just Guard, it will recover a tiny bit of your health. And given I'm pretty effective at perfect blocking, it's just a very useful Super Soul for me to use, given my play style and my habits. I went for the regular Spirit Bomb there, thinking I'd have enough time to charge it up and fire it. Nope, nowhere near enough time, so that was a huge mistake on my end. I went for the fully charged back hit, thinking he would vanish a bit later on, so I'll do max damage to him. But instead, he vanished sooner and just blocked it, so that would have broken his guard. And I went for the Eagle Kick and the Punisher Drive, which was a very nice combination. You can see there, I think the combo ended at like 27 hits. He goes for the capsule here, and I honestly do not mind capsules anymore. I say this because the only PvP matches that you can use capsules are in playing matches, and even then you have to search for them on or off. And even if you forget to, when you join the lobby, it would say items allowed. So it's like, what do you think is going to happen? You just can't complain about capsules anymore. But he did break my guard there, and he went for the Giant Storm. So I do have low health, but because he capsuled, I figured, well, it's fair game at this point. He goes into the Perfect Storm, Giant Storm rather. And I was going to try and perfect block it, but if I had got the timing just ever so slightly wrong, then that would have finished me off because it's a one-hit attack. Like, it doesn't do damage over time, it just hits you once. So I would have been able to use my evasive or to vanish out of it. I would have been screwed, so I did decide to just block it normally before it hit me to guarantee that it wouldn't have taken any damage off me. I go for the Harming Key Blast here, and just before he rushes into me, I activate it so it harms back into him. He goes for a second capsule here. I have a very good idea of when he will vanish. If you just watch that bit back, I actually went for the back hit just before he even did vanish, so it's like I predicted it and he proved me right. I go for the stamina break here thinking, well, I'm kind of juggling him now. He might fall into my stamina break, but he didn't. So we're going to a clash here. I have max key now, so I'm thinking maybe I can try and get the Instant Transmission Soul Punisher. I slightly miss it here because I used the square. Yeah, he disconnects as well. He didn't, like, the connection didn't drop. He rage quit there. He probably saw the Soul Punisher and thought that's going to finish him off, so he just rage quits. But the reason it didn't hit was because I went for the square stamina break, then the triangle one, which, yes, it's a bit of a nice combo, but it's not going to keep them in the recovery animation. So that's the first fight over with. Let's move on to the second. This time my opponent has Death Ball and the Molotov time skip, so it's a decent setup. He's got coverage for both short range and long range. I go for instant transmission as we exit this clash, and I don't really know why I did it. There may have been a reason, but if that actually vanished behind him, that would have looked really good because I would have completely avoided his blaster shell. So I've noticed he's going to vanish after every few hits. He vanishes here and tries to block, but because he had no stamina, well, pretty much no stamina, I went for just one hit, and that was enough to break his guard, which probably is going to benefit him, kind of, but it depends really, because you can see how much damage I'm doing on him. He's got his full stamina recharge now, but I mean, I am Super Saiyan 3, I'm trying to look badass. He dashes into me and I completely fail with the perfect block there, so it does make me look a bit stupid, but oh well, it's all in good fun. I vanish here and I wasn't really expecting him to go for the back hit immediately, but he did, so I mean, as you can see, I got pretty much 2 perfect blocks off in a row there. So I use the triangle standard break here, I go for the Punisher drive, the Soul Punisher rather, it hits him, it doesn't finish him off, so I charge up the Spirit Bomb, I fire it, and I'm thinking it's going to come back to him, it does. And just in case it didn't, I went for the Punisher drive, and that looked very funny as we ended the fight. So a very nice Spirit Bomb and Punisher drive ending there. It was a pretty short fight, but I thought it was pretty fun nevertheless. So let's go on to the third fight for this video. My opponent's also picking his avatar. He's got the times 20 Chaos King Kamehameha and Justice combination. So that tells me he's a striker. So I'm thinking, well, he must have the regular Super Saiyan transformation equipped rather than Super Vegeta, because the regular Super Saiyan transformation boosts your strike damage and the Super Vegeta forms just boost your ki. But then I've realised, well, that back hit was interesting, and he's a human, so I did actually think he was a Saiyan, but he's not, he's actually a human, so he can either run Kaioken, which I doubt, Potential Unleashed, or the Power Pole Pro, which I also doubt, so I do think he's running the Potential Unleashed at this point. So I turned Super Saiyan 2 here for 2 reasons. Firstly, to bait him into transforming so I could break his guard, even though he had a tiny bit of stamina, and it probably would have been best if I didn't. But I had a plan, and I used to use Symphonic Destruction, which would do a lot of damage. And secondly, I just really wanted to know what his transformation was. Like, I just don't know why. I just really wanted to know, because if it was the Power Pole Pro, I've only ever fought a handful of people who have used that, and I'm not really, like, I don't really know how to combat that yet. It's something I do need to practice, but I did actually find out a second use for Punisher Drive, which I just love finding out different uses for different attacks. Now, it is a very good strike attack to use, but a little bit ago, when he used Shining Slash, I actually used Punisher Drive, which intercepted it and cancelled it out, and I was able to use the full attack on him, which, if you're ever running Punisher Drive and your opponent is a little bit heavy on Shining Slash, I know that move can be a bit annoying, but just use Punisher Drive, it'll intercept them if they use it fully charged. So I did go for another Punisher Driver here, and I'm going to finish him off now by using the square and then the triangle stamina break, because he had no stamina to vanish, and I was just able to use that on him to finish him off. And from that point, I just dashed into him and sent him flying away, and because he had pretty much no health left, there'll be enough to finish that guy off. And this guy also rage quits. Now, if you disconnect like towards the end of the fight, or when you're on the end screen, the connection doesn't drop, you rage quit, like, let's be fair. And even if the connection did drop him and he wasn't his fault, he could have just messaged me saying sorry, I didn't mean to disconnect, and it's like, well, he didn't message me, so I'm assuming he just rage quit. So for the final fight, I get the very early stamina break, and my opponent's running the one-handed Kamehameha Mark 1, not the Mark 2, which I found very interesting, and Spirit Sword, which is probably one of my favourite attacks in the game. It is a bit unfortunate that you see no one using that anymore online, probably because of how hard and, you know, time consuming it is to unlock, but oh well. He goes for the Spirit Sword as we exit the clash, and because I've got a ton of stamina, I use my evasive, and I go for the homing dash thinking they'll break his guard, and it probably would have if I was a tiny bit quicker. So in a few seconds I'm going to go for Super Saiyan 3, and that's because I really want to finish someone off by using the Super Saiyan 3 Soul Punisher and instant transmission combination. I've not done it yet. It's something that, you know, it's probably going to give instant transmission like a bit of a use now, because hitting your opponent with Soul Punisher, at least from my experience, it's very hard to do, just because, you know, it's just too slow and you just can't really do it. He did break my guard. I'm not too worried because I have a huge advantage over him. I have max stamina, pretty much max ki, and a lot of health compared to him. Now, he does have almost 3 bars of stamina, which I could probably bait him into, you know, well, he goes for Super Saiyan 2 here, Super Vegeta 2. I did try and break his guard, but I was just a bit too slow and I just couldn't hit him with it. Now I go for the triangle stamina break, immediately go for instant transmission, and I use Soul Punisher, and it's going to be enough to finish him off. And you have to admit, that finishes him off in style. So with that being said, thank you guys for watching the video. I really do hope you enjoyed it. Please feel free to leave a like, and with that being said, I'll see you next time.